Current state of women in leadership and top management positions is bleak, but what about the next generation of female leaders? Well, the World Economic Forum's 2014 Global Gender Gap Report concluded that 2095 will be the year that gender equality will finally be achieved in workplaces worldwide. That's in 80 years. But as full-frame contributor Sandra Hughes reports, some future female leaders have decided to take matters into their own hands.
Interview time. Okay, and then
Kimberly Yang is a hard-driving senior executive at tech recruiting firm Proven Inc.
This could be a shoo-in.
She likes to say she doesn't take no for an answer, but that doesn't mean she hasn't hit hurdles along her road to success, mostly due to something out of her control.
So sometimes I would be sitting on the executive team, being one, the only female, and two, being the only minority.
Even in 2015, many successful women say the glass ceiling still exists when it comes to the upper reaches of corporate management and political leadership. The United States has already had an African-American president, but a female in the Oval Office has yet to become reality. Look at this list compiled by Time magazine of more than a dozen female world leaders. According to the Center for American Progress, Finland, Iceland, and Norway lead the world with the most female legislative leaders, with 43%, 40%, and 40% in 2012.
I'm coming from San Jose, California, where my private school was 40% minority.
Yang now volunteers to help other women jumpstart their careers. She also speaks to students about working in business and tells young women that they must not narrow their options to jobs traditionally thought of as women's work. Instead, she says, women should use the bias they face in the workplace as motivation.
It makes you stronger, it makes you fight a little bit harder, it makes you run a little bit faster. Those experiences I wouldn't give up just to go after organizations that promote females.
But this recent list of the very small sisterhood of CEOs in the United States makes the problem clear. Women hold only 4.6% of CEO positions at S&P 500 companies, which means men occupy top positions in 19 out of every 20 boardrooms. In LA's fashion district, designer Bree Seeley is working on her spring line. But she does more than just sew. She's woven writing and blogging into her career. Like her clothes, her writing is female-centric.
For me to want to become a voice for women and help other women find their voices, I have to lead the way, and so I've had to write some there have been several blog posts that I've written actually crying. To be vulnerable is the way that I'm going to really open up and impact women's lives and, subsequently change their world.
The first place she wants to start is in the boardroom, where she feels a little bit of femininity is essential.
The past 30 or 40 years, women have had to dress like men in order to be taken seriously or be successful in the workplace.
I think it was like 50 boxes of these showed up.
Finding that positive in the feminine is the theme of her newly released book called The Inspirational Woman Project. It's a simple premise, really. Interview women around the world.
What does it mean to be a woman? When do you feel most feminine? And what's your favorite thing about being a woman?
I inspire other women by embracing who I am, embracing my body and my past.
Musician Sonnet Simmons has her own page in Bree's book.
It really helped solidify my own beliefs and ideas around being an inspirational woman and kind of own it in a different way than I had before.
After years trying to break into the music industry in Los Angeles, Sonnet is writing her own ballad for success. She now sings with a group of all-female musicians that she chose purely for their talent. Sonnet says that collaborating with female musicians has been a relief from an industry that can put women in a box.
It's a male-dominated field. The executives a lot of them are male, and a lot of the musicians are male, and that's not a bad thing. It's fine, but working through to be taken seriously as a female, you kind of have to work even that much harder.
The sentiment is echoed by women in many industries.
We want to work together.
Breaking into leadership roles or aiming for careers in traditionally male sectors can seem like a lonely path.
As you start getting into, more of a sales and then a manager role and then a director role and then a VP role, part of the executive team, there's definitely, there's a huge gap.
Closing that gap, according to Kimberly Yang, will mean more women helping women as they rise to positions of power. Her team at Proven is mostly female.
I have a vested interest in a lot of individuals who are working for me right now to make sure that they learn from my lessons.
Really, really good.
If all things weren't equal, I will never hire a male over a female.
And that may be how the gap between male and female leaders closes in the next generation.
That's awesome.
Do you want to be CEO?
It would be nice.
And an inspiration for women around the world. For Full Frame, this is Sandra Hughes in Los Angeles.